as well. Back on.
Oh, we back on? Oh, okay. All right. Difficulties with the signal.
All right. So it seems like Satan trying to hinder, but
Yeah.
hey, we gonna get through the spirit power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, go into current events, things that's happening in the world, things that's happening domestically, so we can be edified. Brothers, have a mindset towards prophecy. So you got it.
I'm just gonna get straight to the point. This Daniel chapter 5, verse 25 says, "And this is the writing that was written."
No,
Go ahead. You can just
Kind of.
Yeah. Start off with
All right. This is Daniel chapter 5, verse 18. It says, "O thou," this is back in Daniel chapter 5, verse 18. It says, "O thou king, the Most High power gave Nebuchadnezzar thy father a kingdom, and majesty, and glory, and honor." It says, "And for the majesty that he gave him, all people, nations, and languages trembled and feared before him. Whom he would, he slew, and whom he would, he kept alive, and whom he would, he set up, and whom he would, he put down." So the Lord gave the kingdom of Babylon to Nebuchadnezzar, just like the Lord gave the kingdom, this modern kingdom of Rome, to Esau.
it's the daughter of Babylon.
It's the daughter of Babylon.
I'm gonna get that for you.
Kind.
This is Psalms chapter 137. All right, and 137 and 7. It says, "Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, race it, race it, even to the foundation thereof." Here's the point. "O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us." My brother was just talking about the Babylon, the ancient Babylon, dealing with Nebuchadnezzar. But we live in the daughter of Babylon, which is Edom. So
Yeah, that's correct. We live in the daughter of Babylon, which is Edom, which is to be destroyed. And that's the time we're coming to now. So when you read later in Daniel chapter 5, you'll start to see that certain things happen for Mother Babylon, or ancient Babylon went down, and those same things are happening now to daughter Babylon, which is America. It's a comparison that's parallel with each other, mirrored. It says, "But when his heart was lifted up, and his mind hardened in pride, he was deposed from his kingly throne, and they took his glory from him." So the Lord took the glory from Nebuchadnezzar.
how much more, the wicked
God.
see?
So this is what you have to look forward to, Esau. This story of ancient Babylon and Nebuchadnezzar and Belshazzar should be your blueprint for how you should understand how your kingdom is going to fall. It says, "And he was driven from the sons of men, and his heart was made like the beasts, and his dwelling was like the wild asses. They fed him with grass like oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till he knew that the Most High power ruled in the kingdom of men." And that's a valid point. The Lord is going to destroy you so that you know that the Lord is the ruler over men and not yourselves, man. And Daniel is telling this story to Belshazzar, which is the son of Nebuchadnezzar. He's telling him about the history of his father. This is what the Lord did to your father because of his pride. So how much more, like I not saying, how much more the wicked, man, of this generation?
Esau, Edom, who's being revealed.
That's right.
Really quick, because you mentioned Babylon being raised, and the Lord basically choosing Nebuchadnezzar and raising him up. Well, the Lord doing that for the daughter of Babylon, which is Esau, Edom.
That's right.
It's Jeremiah 51 and 7. It says, "Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken."
And that's true for ancient Babylon, because Babylon was the golden standard in the ancient world. and all of the nations had to pay tributaries and to come up under one banner under Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon.
Well, isn't
now-
the head of gold?
Yeah, and that Babylon's the head of gold in Daniel the 2nd chapter. It's like it.
And then that's what's going on today.
Yep.
All these nations, they look up to Babylon, which is America. You know, which they're giving out, promote philosophy.
Yeah.
Because the Babylonians back then would promote philosophy back then.
Yep. And they were the richest. They were the richest empire.
See, the thing is, right, rich empire, and then that's the Lord set them up to be that.
That's right.
All right, you got a precept.
I'm still reading.
All right, go ahead. I got one too.
So Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine.
Philosophy.
Therefore, the nations are mad.
Yeah, because they're starting to figure out what. Well, going back to ancient Babylon, the Medes and the Persians started to figure out what Babylon actually stood for, and they were being oppressed. And that's what's happening right now in modern times. The other nations are understanding now that they've been oppressed by this golden cup called America. This daughter of Babylon. They're starting to figure out, wait, this mentality, this Western mindset that we've been taught to lust after is actually the very same framework that's destroying us. So now they're pissed off. It's like
Yeah, that's right. And the nations, the Lord has put the spirit on the nations to rise up against Babylon. That's Isaiah 14. You can continue on that.
This is back in Daniel chapter 5, verse 21. It says, "Till he knew that the Most High power ruled in the kingdom of men, and that he appointed over it whomsoever he will. And thou, his son, O Belshazzar, hast not humbled thine heart, though thou knewest all this." So Daniel's telling Belshazzar, like, look, even though you know what the Lord did to your father, you still being proud. And the thing is, I heard a quote. I can't remember who said it, but the quote read, "What we learn from history is that we do not learn from history."
You're right.
Because they repeat it
Yeah,
every time.
yeah, because it gets repeated every time.
And then, it speaks volumes because every nation fell. Babylon, which we read, had fallen. Why? Because of Nebuchadnezzar's pride.
Yep.
And eventually they phased the Lord out and didn't give commemoration to the Lord. But at first he did commemorate the Lord.
Yeah.
And it is the same for the society we live in under Esau's rule.
It says, "And thou hast," verse 23, but hast lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven." And that's a direct parallel to what we see today. Like the brother said, the society's gotten farther and farther away from the Most High, and they're starting to lift themselves up against the Lord, and be prideful against the Lord, Now the philosophies are bringing out, oh, I can control my own destiny, I'm my own God, I can do what I want. It says, "And they have brought the vessels of his house before thee, and thou, and thy lords, thy wives, and thy concubines have drunk wine in them. And thou hast praised the gods of silver, and gold, of brass, iron, wood, and stone, which see not, nor hear, nor know. And the power in whose hand thy breath is, and whose are all thy ways, hast thou not glorified." So they worship the creation more than the Creator. They worship themselves. They worship gods of gold, silver, brass, wood, stone. They worship the stars, the moon, the planets. That's the same thing now today that daughter Babylon is doing, and they're not glorifying the Most High. That is a grave error. It says, "Then was the part of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written." So an apparition came and started writing on the wall, man. This is where you get the saying, "The writing is on the wall."
Yeah.
Yeah, the writing's on the wall right now.
Yep.
Look at all the events that's going on in America, man. Look at all the inflation and the recession and all that shit going on. America is not gonna be great no more. It ain't great at all right now. So, go ahead.
It says, "And this is the writing that was written, Mene, mene, tekel upharsin. This is the interpretation of the thing. Mene, the Most High hath numbered thy kingdom and finished it. So Daniel broke that part down to him and said, look, you only have a certain amount of years left in this place. And then the Lord is going to destroy it.
That's right. Hey, you said the writings on the wall are now, right? I'm sure y'all had heard of CERN and the message that came through CERN.
Yep, it was tekel, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was temple. So I'm gonna read just a little bit of this. Let me see. It says Steam it. Steamit.com. Message to elites from CERN. It says tekel. Just a wonderful message from William Mount. It says, seems like a CERN scientist stuck his head in the reactor and got bopped with a particle. It says now he is getting multi-dimensional messages. They think they reached God. They got one word back, tekel. Do you remember in the Bible book, the book of Daniel, which we're reading, there is a story of the downfall of Nebuchadnezzar's son, Belshazzar. He had a huge party and invited all of the elite. And what did they do? They had a huge party. The World Economic
Economic Forum.
All these different summits that they had. So this is a party that he threw in celebration of their, their godhood, or whatever their imperialism on earth, right? So it says during this party, in a drunken, debauched state, they decided to open up the sacred artifacts that had been taken from the Jews. Then God responded. So what do you think they doing at these different summits?
Right.
You know, they're doing things against the hidden ones, which are the Lord's prophets.
Psalms 83.
Yeah,
Drinking out of our chalices that they stole.
Yeah, and drinking the blood of the children that they steal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, blood of the saints.
Yeah. So it says, decided to open up the sacred artifacts that had been taken from the Jews. Then God responded. He wrote on the wall, many, many tekel upharsin. They didn't know what the writing on the wall meant, so they sought out Daniel. Daniel told them, "You have been judged and found wanting." So the message from CERN, you have been weighed, tekel. So the Lord has weighed the balance of this place. And the scripture talk about how you can go with your precept really quick. Yeah, go ahead. You got
This
it.
is the book of Proverbs, chapter 11 and verse 1. A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight.
That's right, man. So the Lord is about equality and well, not equality, but equity. You know, fairness.
How about to say that?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
So he's about fairness. And this society is not played fair. You know, everything has been tilted in the favor of these elite Edomites who have been just been doing terrible things in the earth and just wicked oppression, so that they can rise up and solidify their spot where everybody else just fall off the map, so to speak. And they've been cutting off nations, and mainly the children of Israel. That got us in a broken.
Yeah, bro, I mean to cut you off, but I got to go ahead and speak your piece. I got
Yeah. So the Jake is in a broken, downtrodden state.
Yep.
Where at this point there's no fixing.
Yeah.
And and the Lord, is pretty. Isaiah 59 says that it was angry because there was no truth in the earth.
The truth fell up in the streets.
Yeah, the truth fell in the street. And so the Lord has pretty much searched out this society and measured it, and that's what He's found. This place is being found wanting. It's been weighed in a balance, and it's in America's contribution to the world and everybody around it is unsustainable. So the Lord has to. He's going to do something about it. 2 Ezra the 15th chapter. Their sins have reached unto heaven. Their hurtful works are fulfilled.
Right.
So the Lord he's saying he's about to put an end to it, and that's what we're telling you by prophesying the things, the determination that the Lord has for this kingdom. Which is nothing different from the kingdoms of past times. That's why we're using Nebuchadnezzar and Belshazzar as as an example, you know. So just a little bit more on this article, and then you got it. Unless you,
No, because I was looking at this word fair, right?
Mhm.
The Lord is like fair. All right. It says in accordance with the rules or standards, legitimate. All right. You got the similar, what you call it? He's just. All right. He's equitable, fair-minded. Got honest, upright. These trustworthy. All right. These are standards that police don't have. All right. Only the Lord is fair. All right. Off of scripture, lawyers putting out, you know what I'm saying, just balance. You know, the Lord always been just, man.
Those ultimately attributes of being a judge.
Which is it?
and then ultimately, due to how do you say predestined?
Predestination.
Yeah, due to predestination, we the ones that's called to rule the earth, and that's why the Lord is raising us up in the sight of our enemies, and we get to tell them their downfall to their face. In fact, we're ordered to do so.
Yep.
You know, so you got it.
It's back in Daniel chapter 5, verse 20, 26. It says, this is the interpretation of the thing. Mene, the Most High hath numbered thy kingdom and finished it. 27.
I got the precept for that. This is Job. It's a lot, man. This is Job 14.
That's perfect.
14 and 5. It says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. You see? So the Lord has appointed your bounds. All right? And there's a certain point. There's a cutoff point. And you can't go past that cutoff point. You know?
Right. It says, and that when you reach that cutoff point, that's when you reach your end.
That's right.
It says, Tekel, thou art weighed in the balances, and art found wanting. Perez,
And wanting is another way of, I think it's like synonymous with covetousness. Because Habakkuk 2, chapter 2 and 5 says, it speaks on him not. His ways are death. He enlarges, his desire is hell, you know, and he cannot be satisfied. And so that's what you're dealing with when you're dealing with Esau, the so-called white man, Edom, in this society.
Yep.
They can't be satisfied with blood. They have everything. The scriptures say they have more than heart can wish for.
Yep.
All right. So they have the world in their crevices. That's why, you know, when you look at that book, Learn Elders Desire,
they got their hands on the world.
they got their hands digging into the world, and that's essentially what the so-called white man, his whole plight is about.
Bleeding dry.
Exactly.
Kind of goes back to Daniel 9:24. Earth is given to the hand of the wicked, man. That proves it right there, man.
Yep.
You got me, sir? Go ahead.
This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit.
Yeah, see, unrighteousness. See, Esau likes to walk around the earth like he's the most righteous, most holy person. You know, when in fact, he's the most unrighteous, wicked person. You know, and it says injuries gotten by deceit. An injury is a blow, you know, or a smiting, so to speak. You know, those injuries would be wars, slave trades, you know, raping, robbing, pillaging, you know, by the military. You know, stealing resources. Those are injuries gotten by deceit. The deceit is the Western philosophies, man. You know, the deceit is the Arab Spring. You know, the deceit is
We come in the name of democracy.
right. Come in the name of democracy. The deceit is we're going to mine these resources. We're going to help you mine these resources for the development of your country. You know, but in the meantime, they're setting up a puppet leader in your country so they can keep funneling the resources to America.
Yeah.
You know,
Trying to get this bitch going.
right?
So this that book, and those are the so-called Jews, the Jewish who Ye is going after. In the media, you know.
Don't get us
I'm a-
canceled too, though.
But we ain't got nothing to lose.
Right.
He got hundreds of millions of dollars. You know.
He just sprang up another YouTube channel.
So those, just an example of certain injuries. This is how white folks got so rich. All right, and I'm gonna just read the table of contents to show you the plight or the carbon footprint of the so-called white man, Esau Edom. It says Indian land grab. That's the first one. Okay.
Yeah, because they came in, they raped, robbed, and pillaged us and slave traded us, took our land, and now they divided us. They created these boundaries in the land of America, and they started selling them off piece by piece and building things on them. That's what you call real estate now today. They build these houses and these corporate businesses and montage on top of all the land. Then they sell the building separate and they sell the land separate. Or they keep the land and just milk off of what they built on top of it. You know? That's why Jake is on this thing about buying land and generational wealth, because this is how Esau, right, this is how Esau created his wealth. By one, stealing the land and shedding the blood. But Numbers 33 tells you that the land can't be cleansed except for by the blood of them who shed it.
And you're not supposed to take part in riches got by deceit. You're not supposed to take part in those that riches, and that's what Jacob wanted to do. They want to take part in the riches, and then they want to do, like you said, doing what the so-called white man doing. Always buy assets. That's the biggest thing. Generational wealth. All of those. That's at this point, that shit is bullshit because everything in the society is now corrupted due to the inception of this place, how this place was raised, rape, robbery, and murder. Those
capitalization.
Yeah, that's right. Capitalization. Those injuries gotten, riches gotten by injuries. So just a little bit more. I'm going to this is page 13, and it's under the table of contents, Indian land grab. It says from the very start, Europe's colonization of America, the invading settlers were begging their British king to destroy the savages at an even faster rate than he already was. King George III's slowness to annihilate the Indians was one of the reasons the founding fathers wanted to separate from England.
Oh, and they said, and he called this book called The Savages, but they're the savages.
Exactly.
They came over in supreme savage faction. You know, I almost said satisfaction. But they came in supreme savage faction with all prejudice, man.
Yep.
And they destroyed us.
Hatred, yeah.
You know? But the deceit is placing that moniker on us.
Yeah.
You know? Making us look like we're the wrong ones, so that way they can make themselves seem like they're right for doing what they've done. That's narcissistic behavior.
That justify the means. In their book, Public Opinion, that's
Walter Lippmann?
Yeah. Well, no, it's book you.
Power Systems?
Power Systems, yeah. One you never got back. But anyway, it says the Declaration of Independence calls them the merciless Indian savages. And the early Thanksgiving holidays were actually celebrations of successful racial massacres.
See, and that's the thing. Isn't that the next holiday that's coming up? You know, after this, after Samhain, you know, after this whole month,
Hallows Eve.
After this whole spooky season, this month of debauchery and witchcraft is up. You know, now they have a whole nother ritual of celebrating the massacre and drinking the blood of the natives that lived in this land, man.
Yes.
You know, which are the tribe again of the nation of Israel.
Yeah, and it's crazy because they'll say racism doesn't, it's not the main, America's main point.
Yeah, but you
But
have
it's
holidays.
thriving off of it.
Right, and you have holidays created, these ritualistic days created off of racism.
Yep. Just a little bit more. It
Which
says-
they make money, it's like it. They make money on the holidays too.
Yeah. It says the Red Holocaust, right, dealing with Gad, North American Indian. It says was systematic, calculated, and extremely profitable. Colonial merchants supplied the British, Dutch, French, and American armies to ethnically cleanse the Indian nations from their ancestral lands.
That's genocide.
Scripture said, "Don't remove the landmark." If somebody can get that. All right.
Landmark?
Yeah, come.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark. That was it.
I can finish this.
Well, I'm waiting
Oh,
for
oh,
that,
okay.
and then we'll keep going.
Right.
You got it?
Proverbs 23:10.
All right, Deuteronomy 19. The landmark.
Yeah, Deuteronomy 19.
You got it.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 19, and verse 14, and it reads, "Thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark, which they of old time have set in thine inheritance."
See, you shall not remove their neighbor's landmark because it was set in old time and inheritance. This is something that the Lord gave the northern kingdom. Man, He gave the northern kingdom this land, so they were to
For
start
their-
over
Their
and to
generations,
keep, kind,
so they can keep, and that's
so they can keep the commandments.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what this land was. It was a gift from the Lord to the northern kingdom. You know, and and if you America is so much on the Bible this, the Bible that. You know, this isn't a Bible Belt country. Because if it was, you follow the law. The law tells you not to remove your neighbor's landmark. And the brother is reading how the landmark was removed. And it's constantly being renovated over, man. Not keeping the land Sabbath, you know, destroying a place.
Yeah, and then you isolate the tribes, the Gadites, the
Yeah.
North American Indians,
On reservations.
put them on reservations. So
That's still government owned by America.
yeah, the oppression continues. So it's never ending.
They go quickly, right quick. This is Deuteronomy 27:17 is the land off him, land off the brother. It say, "Cursed be he that moveth his neighbor's landmark."
Kind.
So you cursed.
Kind.
So you cursed. And the scripture said, that curse is dealing with the chariots of the Most High. The curse
Yeah,
shall
the curse.
be in the house of the thief.
That's right.
That's why you got the
That's right.
chariots popping up all over the place.
Kind.
Just to make that point. You know? This is Micah 2:1. This is, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it."
Yeah, they have the resources. You know, they have the resources and the means to actually practice those visions that they've had in their sleep. You know, those words that they've gotten, those messages they've gotten back from those demons that they consulted. You know, the things behind closed doors that they concoct, those plans. They have the resources to bring them to reality.
Which is the weapons.
Yeah.
And it goes back to Esau's sword. The
Yeah.
sword that he was given as a blessing from our father Isaac.
Yep.
And that blessing is what they've been using to do that, to forward their agenda. It says they practice it because it is in the power of their hand, and they covet fields and take them by violence.
Right, they cover fields and take about violence, man. How much lands that Esau stole from these nations, man, and set up their democracy in these different countries. You know, set up their political standpoint in these different countries, man.
Everywhere that has a U.S. embassy.
Yeah, right. Everywhere that you would have a U.S. embassy, man. Right? That part again out.
It says, "And they covet fields and take them by violence."
Took them by violence, killed a lot of innocent people, man. All right, because Esau been doing that for a long period of time. Same way he did Gad, man. Took, covered by violence. Man. He took, man. Look, Maccabees 1, bro. Hold that on deck too.
Oh, how they abomination desolation.
Yep.
It says, "And they covet fields and take them by violence,
Yep.
and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage." Now, it just mentioned the heritage.
Kind.
So the Lord has given us land so that our generations after can inherit that, and so
Right.
their children can inherit that. And Esau has cut that off. All right. And see, that's why you're going to be cut off, because you cut off nations, you cut off the seed line, you cut off their inheritance, which was given, divinely given to them.
Yep. And
You know what I'm saying?
that in itself is a rebellion against the Most High.
Yeah. So going back to that injuries got by deceit, I want to read a little bit more of the table of contents in this book. It says, "Slavery, the most profitable business of all time." You know, if we read a little bit of that, it's gonna piss you off, because it tells you how much money they made up to this time, the time that we live in. They made trillions upon trillions upon trillions of dollars. All right, Jim Crow laws, no more money. Basically, Jim Crow was set up to hinder the process of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans sustaining themselves in this world. You know.
But according to my man yesterday, when things get better for black people.
yeah, you bugged out. All right, new slavery, sharecropping, predatory lending, and debt slavery.
Predatory lending.
Mm-hmm.
That's your payday loans. You wonder why all the payday loan spots are in Jake neighborhoods. You know, they already putting you in a destitute situation to hike up the rent.
So set up
Then
our design.
Yeah, they hike up the rent. Then they pay you these slave wages. Now you're forced to take a payday loan and use your car title or your payday or your bank account as collateral. You know, and the interest is 30%. So you'll never pay the loan back. You know.
Yeah. So just a little, I want to go into it just a little bit. It says new slavery, sharecropping, predatory lending, and debt slavery, because this started right after slavery.
Yep.
All right. It says sharecropping is a system of forced. Come. Sharecropping is a system of forced farming based on endless debt bondage. First outlined in the Jewish holy book Talmud. All right. Sharecropping was set up throughout the South to continue to reap the profits and the horrors of plantation slavery long after its legal end in 1865. The ex-slaves, highly skilled in agriculture, never received the 40 acres and a mule they were promised by General O.O. Howard, the white founder of Howard University. So you got Jake going to his university, and proud that he's going to that Howard University.
Right. I got a BHSA from Harvard University. I graduated cum sum laude.
Right. And they pledge Delta.
Right.
They pledge Alpha, whatever the hell they pledge in Greek society. And the whole time, this institution is set up by oppressors, people who have wrong, riches out of our people through slavery, through their hardship. It says to build their own independent economic foundation. Instead, they were forced into a system that benefited mostly Jewish immigrant merchants who had flooded into the South after the Civil War to exploit the highly profitable cotton economy, which was 60% of the world's economy at one point. All right, slavery, and they talk about the Jewish plight, the Holocaust. Well, the Jewish were committing Holocaust they were committing something equal to the Holocaust against us. See, and they continue to exploit us with these different industries they have.
And proof of that is that the Medici family in Italy actually created the interest system on lending. You know, I remember watching that in a documentary about a month ago.
Yeah.
You know, the Medici family created this system of debt lending with interest. You know, because they figured out a way to go around the legalities of the banks in Italy at that time, and it was through the interest. You know, that's where you get the predatory lending system from, man. The Medici family, which is the Amalekite lineage, man. You know, which is the little hat people we see nowadays, and all black with little hats and tassels on their sideburns. They're ridiculous, man.
And we talk about the elites among them, because a lot of them are dumb.
They don't know what's going on.
Yeah, they don't know what's going on. Yep. So it says Jewish immigrant merchants who had flooded into the South after the Civil War to exploit the highly profitable economy. Black farmers were prevented by law and by custom from owning land and were given instead a share of the old plantation lands they had worked as slaves to grow cotton, corn, wheat, and rice as tenant farmers.
Isn't that what they do now in the modern times? They'll shut Jake down from getting a loan to buy land. You know what I'm saying? You can own your house. Not own a house, but you can get a loan for a building. But oh no, don't you ever try to buy no acres of land.
No,
you know,
because farmers out of the question. Being able to sustain yourself, teach the generations after. That's out of the
how to be
question.
self-sufficient. Yeah.
See, but this is America, and they talk about the American dream, and so-called black folk making it. It's impossible.
Yep.
You Edomites.
The wealth gap is it's the wealth gap is so large that, well, I think what it say would take us like what
3,000.
3,000 years
Yeah.
to catch up. Ridiculous.
Yeah. It says, using debt and usury as the post-slavery whip and chain, the sharecropping system legally tied each black farmer to the merchant who supplied him with the seeds, tools, food, and clothing that the farmer had no other way of obtaining. Yeah.
You know, either way it goes, he gives you this plot of land and tells you, oh, this is your land. You can't sell that plot of land, and then you have to get all your materials from the plantation owner.
Yeah. And a large portion of that is going to them.
Right.
It says once the farmer harvested the valuable crops, the merchant sold them on the international market, reaping astronomical profits. When time came to pay the black cropper, the merchant told him that he had run up a debt for his purchases and that he owed the merchant money. So-called Negro testimony was not accepted in American courts, thus ensuring that
That's
the
fraud.
cheated sharecropper could never obtain justice.
That's fraud.
But yeah, exactly. But we ain't supposed to say nothing about this devil. When Jake ain't never got justice, but we getting justice through Yahweh Shem Shai.
That's right.
And that's why we able to call you out on your bullshit, and there ain't no way you could stop it.
This is the courtroom.
That's right. This is Isaiah 59 and 14. It says, "And judgment is turned away backward, and justice standeth afar off. For truth is fallen in the street, and equity cannot enter." Equity is that fairness. It says, "Yea, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey," which you see in that happening, Kanye West.
Yeah.
But it's more so it's going to happen to the prophets. You know, we're justified. That dude had his consolation in his kingdom. He's gotten riches, he's done his sacrifices and sold his soul and all that other stuff. We didn't sell our soul. We sold out for the Lord. How about Shemiah Shah? You know how the Christians say, we sold out for Jesus.
Right.
We sold out for the Lord, you know? So, yeah, you know, and that's what makes our standpoint way more validated than what Kanye West doing. Even though he's playing his role, he's playing his part.
Yeah, they having to push that agenda out. That's
That's
why they ain't killed his ass yet.
Yeah, kind. And
It's
he's control opposition.
Yeah,
That's all.
control. Yeah.
Because they're gonna open the floodgates on what we're doing, and they're gonna try to accuse us, demonize us, and then which will bring in that prophecy that we should be hated for the truth's sake. You know, it says, "Yea, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. And the Lord saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment."
Yeah, the pleasing that there was no judgment. Guess what? The judgment is coming now. You know, the judgment is set, and the judgment is being proclaimed. You know.
Yeah, that's somebody get a second. That's 15:5.
Let me go back to
To you, man.
Oh,
That's the spirits. I was thinking about this.
Okay.
You sure?
I just wanted to read some more that the injuries in Rich's got by the sea. It says,
Go ahead, bro.
it says, labor unions, racial cleansing of American labor, white domestic terrorism, the black massacres. You look that
Yeah.
up. You have Eufaula, Alabama, where Jake was becoming Republicans. They were getting in ranks in the political field.
Yeah, this is right after slavery
Yeah.
was so-called abolished.
Yep. And then you had the KKK, which was formed. You had these white men who would harass Jake at these at the voting booths, and they would kill Jake. And they would do riots and stuff against our people. So yeah, the list goes on. It says Asian Exclusion Acts. It says citizen and immigration for whites only. All right. So you never got citizenship. All right, through immigration. Okay, because there's a lot of Edomites that came over here that flooded America who got a better shot at life than we did. All right. Student debt. President of white supremacy Woodrow Wilson. That guy was an asshole. Public housing, the projects. you name it, Federal Housing Administration, Homeland
Good,
Insecurity,
Section 8.
Social Security and pensions, unemployment insurance. The list goes on, all right? Homeowners, loan corporation, racial profiling in the housing market, prison industry, the war on black drug users, the war on drugs,
Like Reaganomics.
when they flooded the drugs in the community. These are just little, this is just, you know, how can you say, this is just tidbit information.
Tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, but the implications behind it is
Astronomical.
Then they forced the man out the house.
Yep.
They forced the man out the house. And welfare put the man out the house and had a woman.
That's that telepathy.
Had a woman be independent.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Depending on the
Give
government,
authority over them.
depending on SNAP,
Yep.
all right? Depending on food stamps and all that same shit.
Yep.
Essentially, they broken the house, the family structure of
Yeah.
the so-called Negro, Latinos,
That's
and
it.
Native American, and that's strategic.
And
Yeah.
I want to get that real quick. And it's in Deuteronomy.
Yeah, they exploited the curse.
They exploited the curse. Deuteronomy
They
28
afforded
chapter.
the
Curse.
This is Zechariah 1 and 15. I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease.
Right. He's very, very displeased with the heathen that are at ease. How they at ease? They got all the riches, they got all the resources. All right, they got all the backing and shit. You know what I'm saying? They living large, living lovely, man.
That's one thing that Jake doesn't understand. Like Jake yesterday, he came on camp and he was like, "Well, why are we? I get, you know, he wanted to place all the blame on us, you know.
Yeah, like
But-
we're supposed to take accountability. Yeah,
Right,
we
but
do
can't
take
take,
accountability.
yeah, but we were in slavery. We're forced to take accountability, right? But then the Lord says that I was trying to get this precept out bad yesterday.
Oh.
But the scripture said he forwarded the affliction.
Yep.
And when you read LT, it tells you that he made it worse than what the Lord intended it to be. Because you're supposed to let slaves go after a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
We still here.
And you're not supposed to, what do you call that? Torture and maim.
Yeah.
Because the law and the scriptures say if you
You maim your slave, you gotta let him go.
you gotta let them free.
Yeah.
They didn't do that. They kept hold on us, and they still keep a hold on us. They have us literally as hostages here in America under their democracy, under their rule of law.
The scripture
No.
say the prey departeth not. We're the prey.
Yep, that's right.
No, let me finish this precept.
Zechariah 1 and 15. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease.
Right, stop right there. Now, if you look at the word, you know, in the blue letter, it's displeased, right? All right, kasaf, right? The Lord is displeased, man. He's very displeased. He's angry. All right. He's basically to be wroth, to be full of wrath, to be furious, to provoke wrath, anger. All right. So the Lord basically enraged, man. You know what I'm saying? Because he's very displeased. Go ahead.
For I was but a little displeased, but they helped forward the affliction.
Right, they fought the affliction. Because, you know, the Lord afflicted us through slavery, you know, poverty, you know, lower wealth economics and stuff like that. Put us in, you know, basically punished us, man. You know, as a whole, as a nation. You know, because, you know, our forefathers, you know, we going off and reaping the benefits. All right? He put us in slavery, he put us in America, served slavery, we came over here on slave ships, you know, and Esau just, like I said, fuck it, I'm gonna fall affliction, like fuck it, I'm gonna start hanging Jake from trees and all this shit, lynching Jake, you know what I'm saying, raping the women, doing all this extra shit, man.
Because he's the devil.
He's the fucking devil, man.
Jake wants to live in a society and wants this place to carry on. Y'all out of y'all minds, man.
Jake a homeborn slave, man. What's that, Jeremiah 2 and 15?
Kind of.
Go ahead, bro. No,
Yeah,
that-
yeah,
I ain't got to do something.
This is Jeremiah 5 and 26. It says, "For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares,
Trap.
traps, It says they set a trap and catch men.
They act just like Esau, man. And when Jake is
The revolution will not be funded. It says beyond the non-profit industrial complex, but it goes into this is why, like, with the churches like 501c, it's like a gag order. Like, there's certain things they can't say. You know what I'm saying? So like, and they know it's hard for Jake to fund anything in here. So you'll never see the truth out in certain areas. You know what I'm saying? Such as the churches, different denominations, things of that nature. You know.
Right, because Jake overpassed the deeds of the wicked.
Yep.
Matter of fact, get that real quick. Y'all wanna straight off the top.
if I can finish Daniel. You done with the
How you make the bro to add the live? Like how you make them monitor?
I have no idea.
Yeah, monitor.
Let me finish off with Daniel 5.
Alright, go ahead, bro.
This is Daniel chapter 5, verse 27 says, Tekel, thou art weighed in the balances, and art found wanting. Perez, thy kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persians. So this is a prophecy of how Babylon was to be destroyed, and what to happen after Babylon was destroyed. It says, and what's going to happen after America is destroyed is the kingdom is going to be divided and given to Israel. It says, then commanded Belshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with scarlet, and put a chain of gold about his neck, and made a proclamation concerning him, that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom. In that night was Belshazzar, the king of the Chaldeans, slain, and Darius the Median took the kingdom, being about 62 years old. So that same night, the king Belshazzar was slain, and the kingdom was taken over by the Medes and the Persians, man. That's how quick prophecy works. And you have not only our people, but you have people of other nations, these so-called Bible scholars, who don't believe in prophecy. They don't believe how quick prophecy can work, man. But prophecy works on the Lord's time. I bet you Belshazzar didn't believe a damn thing Daniel was telling him about the words that were written on the wall either. And it happened that same night. So with America or Babylon, this place is going to be destroyed in 1 hour, man. It's like the brother got precepts.
Somebody called for 2 Esdras 15.
15:5.
Yeah.
Let's go to second Ezra chapter 15. It's like 15 and verse 5, and it reads, Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth.
Yeah, so that's why the earth is going to receive these plagues, man. Because there's wickedness everywhere. And the wickedness was made abound during the reign of Alexander, after the reign of Alexander the Great, man. When his 4 generals took over those 4 regions of his kingdom, wickedness increased. There was evils increased in the earth, man.
Yeah.
And those until this day, how much more greater those evils, man? Today those evils are spread out around the globe. That's why they're going to get the famine, death, the sword, and destruction, man. It's like you're right.
And their hurtful works are fulfilled.
Yep. Hurtful works are fulfilled, man. So that's talking about that cutoff point that I was speaking on earlier. That fulfilling of that manifests those hurtful works, and then you're going to be destroyed. Go ahead.
Verse 7, Therefore saith the Lord, Yahweh by Hashem Shah, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness.
Right. And the proof is in the pudding that the Lord isn't holding his tongue. That's why the prophets are on the 4 corners of the earth right now, proclaiming the downfall of this first heaven that's ruled by Esau Edom, man.
Sir.
Which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things.
Right. So they profanely commit. You know, I mean they commit abominable things that are outside the realm of holiness. And he won't. And he said he won't suffer them, meaning that they're not going to continue doing these things, man. You know, somebody get Ecclesiastes 8:11 because the world, starting with Esau, Edom, thinks that they're going to continuously perpetuate this evil that they've been doing. Yeah. So yeah, they think they're going to continually perpetuate this until for eons, man. You know.
Scriptures say that they wish their houses
Continue forever. Yeah. Go ahead, Lloyd.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11. And it reads, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
Right, because they're not directly punished. That's like a child. You know, when a child isn't directly punished, they think they can keep dipping in the candy jar. You know, until that punishment comes as a surprise, because they don't see it coming. And the thermonuclear fire, the martial law, the pestilence, you know, the plagues that are written in the scriptures are going to come to this place in superior and superb fashion, and you're going to be blindsided, man. Go ahead, up.
Verse 12. Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear the Most High, which fear before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked.
Right? So just because your days are prolonged, you ain't getting punished. Sooner or later, it's going to catch up to you, man.
Yeah, and it's gonna be bad for you. That's why I said it's gonna be ill for the wicked.
Kind of.
You know, that it's gonna be bad. Your ways is gonna be, it's gonna, like the brother said, it's gonna catch up, but it's gonna be real bad for you.
Yep. Kind of.
And ultimately, we know how bad to what extent.
Yep. Kind of.
Yeah, this place is gonna get pelted with thermonuclear missiles.
Talk about the firework finale.
You talking about astronomical
Proportions.
astronomical proportions.
According to Malachi, the first chapter, it tells you that the nation of Edom is the border of wickedness.
Yep.
Okay, so this is talking about Esau, Edom, but it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days. His bounds are set, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before the Most High.
Right. Yeah, because he feared not before the Most High. And that's what we started the lesson off with, man. The same thing. Ancient Babylon didn't fear the Most High either. You know?
What happened to them?
Right.
Well, it ain't gonna measure up to what's happening. What's gonna happen to the daughter of Babylon?
Well, the scriptures tell you that it was more tolerable for Sodom than it is for this place.
I got something.
Oh yeah, it was that was it on that lawyer.
That's it.
You go back to the second verse.
It's like Second Ezra 15, and I'm gonna hit 6 again. For wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth,
Man,
and
wickedness exceedingly polluted the whole earth. I mean, it's not one lick of, it's not one lick of righteousness in this earth, man. Right? It's like a remnant of righteousness, and the rest is all fucked up, man.
Well, the wicked can pass the
Righteous
righteous.
past the righteous, man. Go ahead.
and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness.
The Lord getting tired of this shit, man. He's not gonna hold his tongue. Okay?
We the Lord's tongue.
Do the Lord's tongue. But guess what? The Lord's gonna unleash real soon, man.
His fury.
Yeah. His wrath, go ahead.
Which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things, in which they wickedly exercise themselves.
That's why the scriptures say scourges for amendment.
That's right.
The Lord's going to send pestilence, all these different plagues, famine and destruction to this land to remedy it, to make it says scourges sent for amendment, to essentially make it better, to make the world a better place by these different plagues that's coming upon this place. So that's how the Lord's going to put an end to it. Yeah.
Behold, the innocent and the righteous blood crieth unto me,
Yeah, so the innocent blood that was shed throughout the centuries, there's been crying unto the Lord. And the Lord is going to finally, recompense the wicked and their descendants for the evil that they have wrought. And now we understand why the Lord has come up with such furious anger with the thermonuclear destruction. We understand because of to the extent of the transgression. That's the only remedy for this place. That's the only remedy for the wicked.
Read that part one more time.
Huh. So, 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 8. I will hold my tongue. I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually.
Stop right there. This is Revelation 6 and 9. It says, and when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwelleth on the earth? See, this ones that were slain, the one that was killed, man, they crying to the Lord, man. Okay?
Even right now as we speak.
And right now as we speak, man. So they're gonna have their revenge soon. Prophets, okay, ones that was slain, hey man, the Lord's people, as a whole, man. The ones that was slain, one was put to death by this devil, and these other nations as well. They're gonna have their piece of the pie at the end, man. All right. I just want to bring that piece of out.
Ultimately, it's the Lord that's going to do it.
And the Lord gonna do it.
I'm going to go ahead and hit 2nd Ezra 15 and 9. And therefore said the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, I will surely avenge them.
Yep.
And receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them.
So every drop of blood that was shed, whoever dropped that, the Lord's going to deal with them. All right, they're going to pay them back.
Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt.
Which is dealing with this Egypt, all right? Because there's two different Egypts. You got the old ancient Egypt, all right, that we were in captivity under, and you got the modern day Egypt. The scripture said that this place is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, which Egypt goes back to bondage, the house of bondage. Essentially, that's what America is, the house of bondage, because it has 5% of the world's population, and it holds 25% of prisoners. The most prisoners in the world are here, and mostly is you tribes, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So that's one way to look at it. They house the most prisoners in the world, and those prisoners are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. Is that it?
Still on verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues, as before.
As before. So that proves, yeah.
You got it.
That proves that it's talking about another Egypt.
Yep.
And that Egypt that it's talking about is America, Babylon. The daughter of Babylon. Okay, which America is referred to a lot as different other nations. Okay, because America pretty much takes the cake when it comes to all the wickedness that's done in history. It takes the cake,
But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy the land thereof.
Yep. So he didn't destroy the land of Egypt in the ancient world. He's going to destroy this Egypt. Okay, because you still have people that live in Egypt. You have a whole, that place is a tourist site. You know, people go there and tour, but this place you ain't even gonna be able to tour. You can probably be able to tour from the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean. All right, but you ain't gonna be able to step on this land of Egypt. All right, you know.
Egypt shall mourn, the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it.
The punishment we telling y'all. You know, we telling y'all. And that the punishment that's chosen for this place is 200 million missiles. You know,
Right.
I think it says 200,000 thousands.
200,000.
Is that Revelation 9, the 9th chapter? I think. You know, you guys. I think that's it.
Okay, precept. It's the book of Obadiah, verse 15. And it reads, "For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee." Okay, and that makes me think of Galatians 6 and 7. You know, be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. You can't put all this destruction in the earth, you know, and not get anything back. The Lord says he rewards you, he rewards you according to your wickedness, man, according to the fruit of your
Yeah, everybody in that's moving slow. Yeah, everybody in that's moving slow. Precept to what he was just saying.
Okay, God, you got it next thing.
I'm going to read it again, Obadiah verse 15, just in case you didn't pick up. But it says, "For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee." That's payback, getting what you dished out.
Nation.
God.
Nation. Verse 3.
God.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it says until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. We're at that point where the Lord is fulfilling their rulership in the earth, and them being able to do whatever the hell they want without without no pushback. That's where we at. The Lord is about to put an end to the Gentiles, to the heathens.
God. It says, "As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head.
Yeah,
For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain,"
that's Israel. All right, and basically they consumed us. Okay.
"so shall all the heathen drink continually."
Yep.
Yeah.
So the way they sustain themselves through consuming us, you're going to drink the cup of the Lord's indignation. You're going to drink the righteous anger of the Lord, and that's simply, all the evils that you have done to us is going to be done back to you.
God, I believe it was Brother Lamar, you had brought out how they forwarded the affliction. When you read that in the NLT, it talks about how the other nations are at this current time living in peace and security, you know, and they pretty much afflicted upon us more than what the Lord wanted them to, you know. So what you've done to us is what you're going to get back, but it's going to be in righteousness, okay? So it says, "As thou hast drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been."
See, and so the Lord is going to put an end to them so much so that it's going to be like they never existed. So it's going to, the scriptures say, dealing with Esau, the chief house of the wicked, that they're going to fly away as a dream of Job.
God. Last verse, verse 17. "But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance."
See, upon Mount Zion, a vocab alone, vocab, no class alone. You know, the salvation is going to be upon who?
"But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance,
Yep. Go ahead.
and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions."
See, we're gonna take everything back. We're gonna take all that the heathen have. The scriptures talk about the forces of the Gentiles. It said when they turn unto us, we gonna fear because of how much resources we gonna have. Okay, and the reproach is going to be taken away. So we're not going to feel any more shame. You see, now we're ashamed in the earth, we're downtrodden, and we're in astonishment all over the world. The Lord is going to take that away, but He's going to give us the forces of the Gentiles, which is their resources.
Last shall be first, and first shall be last.
Oh yeah, it says shall be holiness. And what is holiness, brothers?
Separation.
Separation.
So how can the heathen be joined unto us in the kingdom of heaven if there's going to be holiness? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
They got that bullshit holiness on this side.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what
Can't
I'm
nobody. Yeah, exactly.
You can't even
Good
live in
point.
the
So I
same
was
place.
meditating on that earlier today about how like Esau been in his kingdom, how he's got everything's been like set for him to like prosper
Yeah.
and be on top and like just have all like it said the fatness of the earth.
Yes.
He prophesied he would get, and so he had his turn to have it.
Yeah.
You know?
And he at the point where he don't want to let go.
Yeah.
You know, and he don't want no one else to enjoy the earth. Yeah. The
Fruits of the labor.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? He don't want nobody to enjoy that. But at the same time, it's going to be temporary. It's not going to be forever for him.
Exactly.
You know? And he knows that.
That's why he's moving the way he is. He said, Revelation
He knows that he has
12
a short
12.
time.
There you go.
Yep. Yep. You got some more on Lord?
Yeah, that's it.
I got this Psalm 75 and 7. It says, but the Most High is the judge. He put down one and set up another. Alright? So, hey, the Lord gonna put you down, He's gonna set up another, man. You know what I'm saying? Because He put out many, He put down many empires, man. And He said, He put down another, He put down an empire and set up another empire. Okay? Because none of these empires, you know what I'm saying, don't last for a long period of time. It lasts for a long period of time, but it's temporary.
Yeah. It's
You know?
so it really is. In reality, it's short.
It's short. It's short. It says, for in the land of the Lord Yahweh there is a cup, and wine is red. It is full of mixture, and He poureth out of the same.
Uh-oh.
But the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them.
You know the dregs. You got dregs in that coffee can.
The dregs are nastiest part.
Yeah, that's the most undesirable part. You might want to drink it, and it's bitter.
Yeah, it's bitter. You gotta shake it up. You know what I'm saying?
To try to get it. But y'all gotta
revive this shit, man.
these dregs. You gotta take shovels and eat it.
Yeah. It says, but I will declare forever, I will sing praise to the Most High of Jacob. All praise horn. It say all praise horns of the wicked also. It say all the horns of the wicked also I will cut off.
Yep, meaning their strength.
Yep, their strength.
Yeah, and their power. So essentially, it's saying that you're gonna go through the undesirable things that we went through. We drunk at the Lord's cup. We had to endure slavery as a whole nation.
Yep.
Now the heathen, y'all, the time of the Gentiles is at an end. The time of the heathen is at an end. You have to drink the Lord's indignation, His wrath, and you got to drink all of it. All of it. And guess what? There's going to be a superhuman race of people ruling over you, and that's going to be Yasha'Allah, the Israelites.
Talk about evolution. That's the true superior race.
It says all the horns of the wicked also I will cut off, but the horns of the righteous shall be exalted.
See, that's what the scriptures talk about. The law going forth from Zion. You see, there's going to be a rule of law that goes throughout not just the earth but the universe. You know, this galaxy, whatever, however you want to say it, whatever. But that law is going to go forth to the ends of the earth, and it's going to rule everything.
That's right. It'll be the law of the land again.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. I had Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verses 4. It says the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable.
Right.
Because Esau is Esau profitable?
No, not to himself, not to the Lord, not to the earth.
Yeah, and they ain't talking about profitable as you making
Money.
Money
Yeah.
or a business deal. It's saying profitable. Are you equitable and fair to the world? And can you sustain the people in the world, help the people
Right.
sustain themselves? And that's what our rulership is going to do. It's essentially going to teach the nations laws, which after you get your ass kicked in slavery, we're going to teach you laws, and you can read that. We're going to teach you laws that help you sustain yourself in the earth, and that help you thrive amongst mankind without without transgressing against one another.
Yeah, because right now the wicked are ruled, so the earth is mourning. But when we're in rule, you're going to be thriving, man. You're going to be rejoicing, because you'll be like Brother said, you'll be able to sustain your way of life without anybody oppressing you.
That's right.
Peace.
Don't get me wrong though, y'all still gonna be oppressed.
Oh, they gonna get pressed. Yeah.
That doesn't speak. I was trying to find that scripture you mentioned.
Proverbs 29:2.
It's beautiful. It's the etymological definition of profitable. It says yielding spiritual or moral benefit.
Woo!
So he's not profitable. The scripture, I'm gonna read it again slightly. It says the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable.
Can I precept him?
He's an unprofitable son.
He's
He's
got
a
little bit more.
degenerate.
Well, precept
Oh,
me,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
you can go back.
God.
So if you're unprofitable, you're a degenerate.
Yeah, you essentially
You're like an
Meaningless.
unprofitable son that gets stoned.
bastard.
I'm gonna go right to the point. This is Ezekiel 21 and 27. I will overturn it, and it shall be no more until he come who right it is.
Yahweh Shai,
That's right.
because Yahweh Shai, part of his glory is the world, the
Uh-huh.
earth. That's his inheritance.
That's right.
Literally, that's what he inherited from the Most High Yahweh. Yeah.
And I will give it him.
Yes, so he gonna get what's his. That's why he coming to war. That's why when he was alive here on earth before he was crucified, what did he say? He said, if this
My kingdom,
my servants would fight. It wasn't his time to take over his inheritance. But now, the second coming of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, that's indeed what he's going to do. He's going to take his inheritance. And what does the scripture say in Daniel?
7:18.
What does it say?
I take the kingdom. Take the kingdom.
Yeah, we shall take the kingdom.
It's gonna be a great sacrifice of God.
We're going to fight for it then. When the Lord, the scripture also say, wait till the Lord rise up to the prayer. And that's what we're waiting. Because we're praying now, but you heathen, starting with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, you're going to be praying in that time when Yahweh Shai comes back. And by then, we're going to be changed. We're going to come back on the earth and kick your ass. All right?
Well, like the snake, how you hunt a snake, right? And you think that you're hunting the snake, but the snake is really hunting your ass.
Yeah.
The snake ain't gonna get tired. You gonna get tired.
Yeah, and America's going to be obliterated, and then we're going to go after the remaining Edomites that's in Russia, Australia, and other parts of the world.
Right.
Europe, you got it.
No, I just wanted to make a quick point how it says yielding spiritual or moral benefit is two precepts that come to my mind, okay? First, Proverbs 29:2, where it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. This place is in mourning, all right? So if Esau yielded spiritual or moral benefit, this place, it would be, they, of course, first and foremost, they would do things according to the word of the Lord, man. That's the decisions they would make in the earth, man. And secondly, Hebrews 12:16. Esau is called a profane fornicator and a profane person. Okay, so you're the opposite of profitable. Okay, you're unprofitable. You're not advantageous, expedient, or helpful. You've done none of these things to benefit the earth. You've pillaged, plundered, lynched, hung, killed, raped, robbed, and murdered, and destroyed the earth.
And continue to do it. He continues to do it. Giving rights to homosexuals, which they can't procreate. If you put them all on the island together, they're gonna die off with a certain amount of time, and they're gonna die off to disease.
Yep.
Okay.
And wasn't Eve at one point talking about blowing up the moon or some shit?
Yeah. Blowing up the moon, blotting out the sky with the clouds. Bill Gates was talking about that. You know, so what are you doing to benefit this world? Absolutely nothing. You talk about greenhouse gases, and you want to come with this ploy of
No energy.
yeah, new energy, global warming, and cutting decarbonization and cutting all emissions, so you can save the world. We know what that ploy is all about. That's so you can control all mankind and destroy all mankind, because you know your time is coming, and there's no way you can wiggle your way out of it.
I got a scripture. This is Limitations 4:21. It says, "Rejoice and be
Oh,
glad."
okay.
Oh,
He said shalom.
Hey,
Shalom.
Shalom. We in the live right now. I mean, not to say.
Yeah, no, I told we gonna stand
Oh, okay.
anyway. Hey, that's the spirit. Yeah, look.
So this is Limitations 4:21. It says, "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee." And that's that cup with the dregs that you were just explaining.
That's right.
And that cup represents what? Your enslavement. Not indentured servitude. Don't get this wrong. You do hardcore shackles on your feet so you can dance slavery.
Yeah, shackles on your neck. It ain't gonna be to take these shackles off my feet so I can dance.
Right. You're gonna put the shackles on your feet so you can dance around the bodies that you're gonna have to pick up after we take this place over with.
Without mixture.
It says, "The cup also shall pass through unto thee, thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked." You know, your shame is going to be seen. You know? It says, "The punishment." I'm sorry.
No, I was just thinking about them being reduced to like worker ants. You know, them working all day.
Army ants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
only sleeping 2.5 hours a day. They take mini naps.
Yeah. Like that. Yeah.
Bro. It says, "The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion." So, since you didn't want to accomplish our affliction or our iniquity, right? The Lord is going to accomplish it.
Yeah,
You know?
because Revelations 11 says, "And their dead body they buried not their dead bodies
Kind.
in that great city." And to essentially not bury us to not bury someone is not, to put them to rest. To bury someone is to put them to rest.
Yeah, they suffered them not to be put in graves.
Yep.
Kind.
And they never,
Let us rest.
let them off.
Yeah.
Yep.
It says, "He will no more."
They fought the slot. They fought the affliction.
Kind.
That's what they did, man. Go ahead.
It says, "He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins." So he's going to accomplish our iniquity and bring again our captivity, so we won't be in slavery anymore, since you won't release us. And then he's going to visit his wrath upon you and visit you for your iniquities.
That's right.
It's going to be a complete turnaround, man.
But yeah, you would think not to mess with the God of the Israelites,
Right?
but they're doing all that. They're doing all type of shit without any fear.
Kind.
I think it say that in the song. Like they're doing everything without fear. They're not considering the latter end. You got your precept.
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 7, just to land out what the brother was just talking about. How they about to get that judgment. "And the Lord Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies."
Right. The Lord's gonna put the curses. The curses that we going through, these other nations, and Esau will go through the same thing, man. Alright? Rightfully so. Right?
"And on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee."
Exactly. So y'all persecuted us, y'all hate us. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord basically gonna put the same curses that we had. on you. And y'all gonna see what it's like to be in our world, man.
Yeah.
You know? And it's happening now.
Look at this. It says, "Gay anti-Semitic banners flying in L.A. Kanye's right about the Jews." Look at that.
Video finna get canceled.
Yeah, so they protesting against the small hats right now as we speak, because they're the only people in the world that you can't call out. Esau.
Yep. That's how you know who controls the world.
Exactly.
There's a quote that says, "You want to know who controls the world? See who you can and can't criticize."
Yeah.
You know.
So they believe that they're above criticism. That's how proud these devils are.
Yeah.
You know. But what did it say? Shame is spewing is upon your glory.
That's right.
And here it says, "If the bean cry out."
And Habakkuk.
Yeah.
Well, why are you looking for that? Was the brother read?
Are you done?
No, I was just gonna say, you know, for those who just now listening, you learn who our enemies are when you read Psalm the 83rd chapter, which is the other nations.
Right.
Number
Starting
one
with
enemy
Edom.
being Esau.
So-called white man, then.
Moab, the so-called Chinese, and the so-called Japanese.
Tyree, Sidon, the Hamites.
Yep.
Elam.
Ishmael. Elam is so-called East Indian. All right. Iran, whatever that is. Persians.
Yeah, Persians. Yeah.
All right. And then you have Ishmael, right, which would be, what they would call the so-called Arabs. Sand niggas.
That cracks me up. Was you reading one?
That's it.
Okay, kind of. This is what's like.
No, I found it, but go ahead.
Oh, kind of. This is Amos chapter 9, verse 30, starting at verse 11. It says, "In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old."
The breaches represents bringing nations together.
All right.
Look at the sign.
This is after. This is being built. As we speak.
It's being built now
Kind.
through the Spirit.
It says, "And I will build it as in the days of old, then that they may possess the remnant of Edom, and of all the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord that doeth this."
So it's a lot. That's based on future prophecy. That's going to take place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for those who are saying that what we're saying is, how did vocab put it? It was destructive, or it was
Yeah.
something to the extent of
Like
that.
this, he called it like destructive something doctrine, something.
Yeah. It's a bad doctrine. I don't know.
Well, he's right. It is destructive. It's destructive to this world, man. It's destructive
But
to
it's
your
good.
ideology.
It's good news to us.
Right.
That's good news to you.
Kind.
That the people that have been exploiting you for hundreds of years, now it's going to come to a point where they're being stopped, and that the same judgment is going to be met to them. That's a fair trade.
And what you just showed, what you just showed, Salakia.
Use old English.
Yeah, what you just showed, is a testimony that we're at the end. Because now Amalek is being criticized. People are finding out about Amalek and of course that's low level, but they're starting to find out who the culprits of the financial ruin of the world are. They're being outed. That's how we know we're at the end of the world. When the scriptures say in Thessalonians that the son of perdition shall be revealed in his time, this is what's happening, man, in front of your very face. It says, verse 13 says, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper." So the plowman, who is the plowman? The plowman is the plowman is Jacob right now. And the reaper of the benefits of what's being plowed is Esau.
Yeah.
But the plowman is going to overtake the reaper, meaning these positions are going to be flipped upside down, man. That's why the Lord said the last shall be first and the first shall be last.
That
You
makes
know?
sense a lot.
So that totem pole is going to flip, and Israel will rise to the top where the Lord intended us to be, man. It says, and the treader of grapes, him that soweth seed, and the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt, you know, and they're going to melt. How are you going to melt mountains? With thermonuclear fire and destruction, man, rained on you from the other nations from across the world. It says, and I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel. So why is the Lord talking about bringing again the captivity of Israel? You've heard that 5, 6, 7, 8 times right now. You know, the Lord is serious about protecting His people, man.
I got you. This is Sirach 17 and 17, really quick. Yeah, for in the division of the nations of the whole earth, He set a ruler over every people, but Israel is the Lord's portion.
We are the Lord's people, man. The Israelites, the blacks, so-called blacks, Latin, the Native Americans, man.
And those that be dispersed throughout the four corners of the earth.
That's right. You know, that have the spirit of an Israelite. That their lineage goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man.
Yeah.
You
Not a spiritual Israelite, like dude was
I was
talking
just
about.
gonna say that.
Not I know. Somehow you wish to be an Israelite, or you wish to be like us. I don't know. I guess that's what makes you a spiritual Israelite. I don't know how that works, but it's dealing with lineage.
That's confusion.
And
That's
how-
endless genealogy.
And how the Lord, how Israel is the Lord's perfect portion. It starts from the beginning.
Right.
Because if you give them that scripture, how's that? How we, man, look, 32, Deuteronomy 32 and I'm gonna start at 8. It says, when the Most High divided the nations their inheritance, when He separated the sons of Adam.
And that inheritance, meaning lands. What can you inherit from the Most High? Land, the earth itself. So every nation had their plot of land that the Lord set in motion for them to have.
It says He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
So the world revolves around who?
Israel.
The world revolves around Israel, man. The nations only got what they have to inheritance based off of where we were placed.
Watch this. Verse 9. For the Lord's portion is His people. Jacob is the lot of His inheritance.
I don't see any other nations in that picture, man.
A lot actually means your portion in life.
Portion of life.
So,
Go for
to
absolute.
land back.
Yep. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay,
Sorry.
land back. This is 2 Ezra 6 and 57. And it reads, it says, and now, O Lord, behold, these heathen which have ever been reputed as nothing,
Woo.
have begun to be lords over us,
Right,
and
and
to
that's-
devour us.
It's like, but that's in slavery. You know, that's now in modern day slavery, and that happened during the slave trade. You know, that happened in the Medo-Persian Empire. That's Ezra's, right? Yeah, that happened in Persia, man. You know? So you have these heathen that the Lord said He don't give a damn about, are lording themselves and oppressing His people, which are the apple of His eye, which are the Lord's portion. What do you think He's about to do there?
You think the Lord ain't hurt?
Kind of,
Right? So it says, but we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? Simply because it's not our time to rule, and we had to live out that judgment, which you just read in Lamentation, the 4th chapter, the 23rd verse, if I'm not mistaken. So jumping back to Sirach 17, we can finish this real quick. I think y'all got it. Sirach 17 and 18, it reads, it says, whom being his firstborn, he nourisheth with discipline, and giving him the light of his love, doth not forsake him.
So Israel isn't forsaken. All you guys out there talking about spiritual Israelite and the other nations can be saved and they can be grafted in, and there's this replacement theology and all this bullshit that you're peddling. The Lord said He never forsake His people, man. You know, the Lord said, "Thy sons of Jacob are not consumed." The Lord said He changes not. What part of the Lord ain't dealing with you motherfuckers do you not understand? Salakia.
Come.
This is back in Amos 9, chapter 14. Amos chapter 9, verse 14. It says, "And I will bring again the captivity of my people of Israel, and they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof. They also shall make gardens and eat the fruit of them." So, and now we've spent all this time and all these eons planting and not reaping the benefits. Well, now we're going to be able to plant and reap our benefits, man. You know, because based off of the inheritance that the Lord is going to bestow upon us, upon enduring to the end. It says, "And I will plant them upon their land, and they shall," and that's the brother just read in Deuteronomy about how we got our lot of an inheritance, man. It says, "And I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled up out of their land, which I have given them, saith the Lord thy power." So we're going to be planted right back in Israel, you know, which is the birthplace of all nations, and nobody's going to remove our landmark ever again. That was it.
Okay, well, unless, brothers got anything else, because, we started with that article showing America's downfall. We can show you other articles. There's so many signs that show you that this place has taken a downturn, and it's, for the most part, Isaiah 14 goes into that, how this place, it says, "The worm shall cover thee. Hell shall meet thee at thy coming," and that's what we're seeing being manifested. The Lord's, His work is coming to pass. It's evident, it's clear, it's day, of the determination that the Lord has for America, aka Babylon, aka Egypt, and we're here, and we're getting every day is a step closer towards our salvation. But with that, unless anybody else has something.
Anything else?
Hey, Lord willing, this was edifying to you, Aqua, that have tuned in. Until next time, we say shalom. We want to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Rakakadash.
double honors.
Apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, salutation to the whole for like doing work, truth, sin, above all.
Above all.
Bye.